Welcome back, everybody. This is another video for a new escape room called the Sports Complex Escape. So if you kind of start off here, you kind of say, welcome to the Deucetown Sports Complex. You've been trapped. Find the riddle, solve the clues, and of course, as always, the official YouTube channel. So basically, we're going to go through a bunch of different sports here to try to escape at the end. And here we go. So the first room is going to be the gym. Kind of look around and see everything here. This is a pretty large escape room, so it can take a little while. But the most important part of the first room, and you can kind of go in whatever order you want, but I find this one to be the easiest. Kind of learn what all the bodybuilders look like. And then on this wall up here, you can kind of see the order that they placed in the strength competition. So it goes Steely, Dennis, Benson, Turner, and Carter. So if you know what they look like, you can kind of find their pictures on the wall over here. So there's Steely. There's Dennis. There's the third place finisher. We got fourth place and fifth place. So, kind of the way it's going to go is you're going to look at the direction that the bodybuilders are posing in. So, the code for the first room is going to actually end up being right, since he's the first guy, left, since he's the second guy, right, since he's the third guy, right since he's fourth, and then left since he's fifth. So it's going to be right, left, right, right, left. So right, left, right, right, left. And that will take us into the sauna. Now, the important part, and I'll go back and show you all of them, you're going to see these out of order sign randomly throughout the room. So, out of order, fourth, the rock wall. Okay. Like I said, you can go in any order with these, but I find this way to be the easiest. Out of order, 3, the balls. Out of order, 2, the bars. And I'll kind of show you a picture of what everything looks like, but there's some hidden numbers in the room. First is the benches, okay? So the way it's supposed to be is the order of the equipment is given to you. So we know first is the shape of the benches. So when we're looking at the shape of these benches, and it's better almost if you get up top and look down, but the shape of these benches is in the shape of a 3. If you look over at our rock wall, you can kind of see in the shape of a 4 there. Again, this is easier if you look down from the top view of the second floor. The shape of the balls is in a 7. And the shape of these bars here is in an 8. I'll kind of show you what that looks like from the top. But this code ends up being 3, 8, 7, 4. And it gives us one of our keys. Now if you'll look over here, you'll notice that this requires 2 different keys to get out of here. So our calendar shows us that today is Wednesday. Now that's important for our code up top where the second key is. This is kind of a view of the monkey bars there to kind of show you the shape of an 8 there. You can see the 3 on the benches over there. Of course, the big 4 on the rock wall, and then if you look over here at the balls, you can kind of see the 7 shaped out of the balls there. But if you'll remember, today's Wednesday, and we're looking kind of out of our weekly workout schedule. This guy says, great workout today, what will our next few sessions look like? And so that's what the code here is. It's asking what the workout schedule is, but he says he's going to be out of town for 2 days. So if today's Wednesday, and we're skipping Thursday and Friday, that means we're going to start on Saturday. So it's just asking kind of for the next 4 days if you look at the code. So with us skipping the rest day on Sunday, because we're not working out that day, our code's going to end up being back, chest, legs, and arms. So back, chest, legs, arms. And that's going to give us, I always struggle to pick these up. Our second key. So now we have escaped out of the gym and on to the next sport, which is going to be football. And so the first thing you'll notice here is all these players have a number. It's supposed to simulate a jersey, okay? So we kind of have our defense here and the offense here with the jerseys on their back there, or the numbers on their back. And the quarterback kind of gives us a little call out here on 2-on-2 ready break. We have jerseys on the wall, and we have an offensive and defensive side of the football. So here we kind of see the play call. And you can kind of see the direction that all the receivers and the running back are running. And then we have these kind of coaches' tips to be a successful quarterback. So I'm going to start off with the coaches' tips and show you the code for that one. So this is kind of the 4 numbers that we'll need to get this code. Know the snap count, which we saw earlier the quarterback said it's on 2. How many yards until the first down, how many minutes left, and how many timeouts left. So if we go over here, we know it's on 2. We know this is our yard marker, so we're actually kind of currently on the 34-yard line. The important part with this is that the digits are actually every 2 yards. The orange marker is our first down line. So we have about 6 yards to go. We look up at the scoreboard there. There's 5 minutes on the clock, and we're the home team with the ball. We have 2 timeouts left. So if we're going here and we're looking at the passcode, remember the first one is the snap count. We saw it was on 2. How many yards until the first down? 6 yards until the first down. 5 minutes left in the game. 2 timeouts. That gives us our gold. Now this is where it can get a little hard, a little confusing. There is our play. I'll kind of crouch so you can see it better. We kind of see which direction the receivers are running. You have these this guy going straight on, and then this guy going left, and then on the right side of the field you have 2 guys running to the right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to line up the numbers on the jerseys with the Hall of Fame here. So the code is actually going to be 2, 13, 23, 87, and 6. And we kind of have to know which route these guys are running because the code is a left, right, forward, and back direction code. So you can kind of see here, for example, we have number 2 first, and which direction does 2 run? Well, if you remember the code over here, he runs left to start off. But the problem is we have a number 13 over here, and we have a number 13 over here, guardian. So we have to know what the defense is doing. The defense is playing man-to-man. So whichever direction the offense is running, the defense is going to follow. But which color do we use? We're going to go blue, red, blue, blue, red. So it's actually going to be offense, defense, offense, offense, defense. So we know 2 is starting off running left. He was the far receiver over here. He's running the out route. He's running left. Then we're going to go red, 13. We know that this guy's running to, the offensive guy is running to the right, but this guy is following him, which means he's running left from this direction. So the first 2 digits are going to be left, left. So then we got to see what 23 is doing, and that's 23 in blue from our color code. 23 in blue is running right. So it's going to be left, left, right. And of course, if you get stuck on this, always look over here just to kind of see which direction they're running. So we've got left, left, right. Then we've got 87. It was a blue 87. He's running straight on the code over there. Then we've got 6, which was red. 6 is following him, so he's just running backwards. So our code is going to end up being left, left, right, forwards, and backwards. So left, left, right, forwards, backwards. And that gives us our second coin. Again, I don't know why these are always so hard to pick up. You will see these coins here, they stay here, but you can't pick them up again. So there's no no clue or hint there or anything. It's just kind of the way the game is. So now we're kind of at the rehab section for the football team. You can kind of, if you want to, eat a steak. It doesn't change anything. Now we've got the rehab passcode. And we've kind of got these injuries here and these treatment tables. So basically what you're going to look at is the order. The first tub is a hamstring injury. And we have low back is number 2, upper back is 3, and shoulders 4. So I put a clock there to kind of help us out to know that this is going to be kind of in the shape of a clock. Hamstring, low back, upper back, shoulder. So hamstring, the direction the arms are facing are what's important here. So the hamstring, he's pointing straight down. You know the first number is going to be 6 o'clock. Then we've got our second number is the low back. The arms are facing straight right on the clock, that'd be 3. The third one was the upper back. His arms are facing directly up, 12. And we've got the shoulder facing this direction, which will be 9 o'clock. So our code, if you're treating it like a clock and kind of go in the order you have the injuries here for the ice baths, it's going to be 6, 3, 12, 9. And that gives us our third coin, which allows us to go into the basketball gym. So now there's a lot of things in here. This can kind of be a little overwhelming. I'm going to close this door. Well, it stays open actually. So we kind of have a player's passcode, which is related to these players. We have a MVP passcode, which is these 4 tools here related to these player stats. And then we've got our shooter's code here. And so we'll start off with probably the easiest one, the coach's keys to be an MVP. So passing the ball, stealing the ball, shooting, and then getting rebounds. Okay, that's what those 4 mean. And so we know the code is going to be related to how many passes we have, how many steals we have, how many shots or points we make, and then how many boards we get, how many rebounds we get. So we know it's MVP. That's the important part. And this doesn't actually tell us who the MVP is with our starters over here. So how do we know who to use? Well, we know it's halftime of the game. We look over at the first half MVP, and it's Cash Holloway. Cash Holloway is our forward over there, you can see, number 4. So we look at Cash's stats, and we remember that passes came first. So the first code is going to be 6, steals is second, 3, points is third, 7, and then rebounds come last, 5. So our code is going to be 6375. That gives us another key here. And you're going to need 3 keys to get into the next room over there. So now we move over here to look at kind of our shooting code. And it kind of breaks down what everything is over here for the other one, the rebounds, points, steals, assists, so you can kind of know, if you've never played basketball before, what to do. So now we're explaining the point system here. Free throws are 1 point, 2-point shots are inside the arc, 3-point shots are outside. To get all 3 points, you have to be completely behind the line and not on it. So our shooting code shows us kind of where we're standing, where we're taking our shots, and the green is if we make it, the red is if we miss it. So our first shot, free throw line, we missed. No points there. Second shot, here, we make. So that's going to be a three-pointer since it's behind the line. We make our third shot, which is a two-pointer. We miss our fourth. We miss our fifth. But we make our sixth from the free throw line. Miss our seventh, miss our eighth, make our ninth. Our foot is on the line over here, though. You can see the 9 is on the line. So if we're looking at our shots made, the order is going to be 2, 3, 6, and 9. So if we're looking at the point value here, we know that that one is a 3, the 3 is a 2, the 6 is a 1, and the 9 is a 2 because it's on the line. So the code's going to be 3, 2, 1, 2. Because that's our point values for the shots we made. So 3, 2, 1, 2, and we're given another key over here. So now I've got 2 of our 3 keys, and now we go over here, and this is probably the hardest code possibly in the room, and then I kind of put a red herring with this to kind of confuse you. So if you've played basketball, you kind of know that each position on the court has a number associated with it. So the point guard's the 1. You may hear somebody refer to the center as the 5. So if you've never played before, this kind of explains the numbers associated with the positions on the court. So this is going to be our code. So we know the point guard's first, shooting guard second, small forward's 3, power forward 4, center 5. So what a lot of people are going to look at here is they're going to assume the number is important. So they're going to say, all right, our point guard's our 1. That's going to be the first code. And they're probably going to put in a 3 because that's the number on his jersey. The number on the jersey is not as important. And so I wanted people to try that and kind of get stuck with it. And I've kind of written over here wristbands. And that's a hard find. But if you end up finding over there, you know the wristbands are going to be important on these guys. So Bucket Williams, our point guard, has 6 different wristbands on. So the first digit of this code is going to be 6. We know our shooting guard is the second part of the code. So we go over here to Swish Reynolds. He's got 4 on. So it's going to be 6, 4. Cash was our number 3. He's the small forward. He's got 2 on. So 6, 4, 2. He has 5 on because he's our 4. He's the power forward. So 6, 4, 2, 5, and then our center who plays our 5 is 1. So if we go over here and type that in, it's going to be 6, 4, 2, 5, 1. That gives us the third key. Like I said, that one can be pretty hard, but you just kind of have to go up here and kind of check the wristbands. I've differentiated the colors on them so you can kind of tell how many there are. And now we've moved on to the racket sports. So this is kind of the Deucetown courts, and then there's 3 different codes here. And I've purposely made it to where you can't mantle this area because I don't want you to hop out of this place. So if we look around, there are different tournaments which we have winners. We have a pickleball winner. We have a badminton winner up here. We have tennis over here. And we have ping pong over here. So we got 4 different racket sports, 4 winners for each one. Now if you come down here, I've got 2 different posters that show you what matters. The seating matters for the tournament. And I've got one here that says size matters for these paddles. So we're going to start off with the most important one that you kind of have to know to get all the other codes. This one there's really no option. You kind of have to do this one first. I've got this racket code over here. And so it shows you this kind of riddle, and you kind of have to decode it. So the first in rally and return is going to be the letter R, because the rally and return begin with R. Now we have to find a letter that's an ace but not in set. And so there's a couple here, and you kind of may have to find the others to figure out which one goes here, but the A is actually going to be the second one. There's the letter A in the word ace but not in the word set. The third is the beginning of a champion, C. So we've got RAC. The middle of backhand or the end of a break is K. The fifth comes in between net, so what's in the middle of net? E. And then the final one starts the tournament, which is the letter T. So we've got the word R-A-C-K-E-T. So I know this is not exactly, you can spell kind of racket a few different ways, but racket with a Q in it was too long. So this is going to be our code here for one of our puzzles. So we got ping pong ball, the badminton, the pickleball, and the tennis. Then we also have this blue paddle here, which will be important later. So we know our code's going to be ping pong, badminton, pickle, and tennis. So if we go to our ping pong winner, and you'll have to go up here. This is where the seeding matters. So ping pong winner was Ethan Zhao. Ethan was the 3 seed in this tournament. So ping pong's first. The first digit of our code is going to be 3. So the second one was badminton. And if you ever, get lost, confused, you can kind of go back and check the order there. But we know badminton comes second. Sophie Tran was the winner here, and she was the 5 seed. So 5 is our second digit. So we've got 3 and 5. And then we're going to pickleball next, because that was the 3rd. Ethan won that, and Ethan was the 8 seed. Kind of an underdog here. So the 3rd digit is going to be 8. So we've got 3, 5, 8. Now we go over here to our final one, which is tennis. And the winner here was the guy who should have won it, Ethan, the number 1 seed. So our code's going to be 3, 5, 8, 1. So we go to where the seeding matters one is. It's going to be 3, 5, 8, 1. We grab our gold coin. We're going to need 3. Sorry, we're going to need 2 to get on the next one. Now size matters. So we got 4 paddles here, red, blue, green, and yellow. And we're going to have to put them in order depending on their size from smallest to largest. So the green one's over there. It's the largest. If you remember, we had the blue one in that room, which is the second largest. I'll kind of show you the size so we can see all of them. We have a red one here. It's a normal size pickleball paddle. We got the green one there, which is the largest, obviously. And we've got this blue one. So we know right now the order is red, blue, green. But we got to find the yellow one. And the yellow one is hidden. And it's actually going to be the smallest, but I kind of want to show you where it is. I've got the yellow one hidden right here. Okay? So from size, it's going to go yellow to red to blue, which is in the hidden room, to green as the largest. So we'll come over here to our size matters. And we'll go yellow, red, blue, green. And we'll get our other gold. There's nothing important here. You don't need to slide or crouch and jump into that. That's blocked off. And now we'll kind of go into the Pro Shop / Hall of Fame area. This is just a small, quick room with a code in it. We've got our Hall of Fame over here, okay? With all of our previous champions from Deucetown. And the important thing here is it says players will be forgotten, but teams will be remembered. So the code here is actually related to which of these are team sports versus which are individuals. And I've tried to put, individuals, singles, solos to kind of show you which are important. So we've got an individual, so that one's not important. Solo, that's not important. But we have men's basketball. That's a team sport. So that trophy is important. We've got solo ice skating. We won't use that. Then we've got men's baseball. So that is a team sport, so that one will count. So we've got basketball and baseball. Men's wrestling is a singles. Men's singles is a single. Football, there's another team sport. So we've got basketball, baseball, and football. Come over here, singles pickleball, women's soccer. So there's the 4th digit to our code. So Then of course singles hurdle. So we've got 4 sports here that have trophies. This one, a little hidden over here, but it shows us kind of that the size of the trophy matters. We're going to put them in order of smallest to largest, and the amount of times they've won will be the code. So we're looking at our smallest trophy. It's going to be basketball. It has 5 rings. So 5 is the first digit to our code. So now we're down between football. You can tell baseball is the biggest trophy of all of these. So baseball's going to be our last code with 3. So which is bigger between football and soccer? Soccer is smaller, so it's going to be our second code. So we've got 5 from basketball, 2 from soccer, 4 from football, 3 from baseball. So it's going to be 5, 2, 4, 3. 5, 2, 4, 3. And that takes us into the players' lounge now, where we have kind of this arcade style room with darts and pinball machines and pool. And there's actually only one important part of this room that'll help you out with everything, and it's the colors of the balls made here. So we have blue, red, yellow, and green. These 4 balls that are actually already been shot into the pockets, and so that's what's important: blue, red, yellow, green. So if we go over here to the dartboard, it kind of shows us how to score the points, where you can get triples, singles, doubles. And so we go over here and we know that it's going to be blue, red, yellow, green. So if we look at the blue there, it's actually in the triple section of the 1-pointer. So we know the first digit of this code is going to be a 3. Then we go to red, which is down here at the 2, but it's in the double section. So it's going to be, the first 2 digits of code are going to be 3 and 4. So then we look back, yellow's our third one. Yellow's just right in the middle of the 1. So it stays as just a 1. Then we've got our 2, which is the same. So if we go blue, red, yellow, green, the scoring for that's going to be 3, 4, 1, 2. So 3, 4, 1, 2. That gives us our first diamond. Same color codes apply over here to bowling. So we're going to go by order: blue, red, yellow, green. But how does that apply to us? What do we have to do with this bowling score over here? If you look kind of in the shoe rack over here, the balls are colored, and they actually are supposed to form the word strike. Okay? So a strike in bowling is signified by the X up here. So the blue got their only strike in the 7th frame. Red was in the 3rd. The yellow player got theirs in the 1st, and the green got theirs in the 9th. So our code's going to be 7319. And of course, I've got these labeled to kind of show you where you need to input all the codes. So the bowling passcode is going to be 7319. Over here, it's our second diamond. But if you go over here and look, we've got to have 3 diamonds to get into this next room. So where do we get our other diamond from? Well, it's hidden right here on the arcade machine. That will give us our 3rd diamond. That allows us to go into our final room, which is the baseball complex. Now, immediately as you walk in here, you can kind of see the order of how we round the bases. So first base is first, then second base, third base, and home plate. We see this code that says your number in the lineup is more important than your number on your jersey. Okay, so that will be important for later. Now, we can't go to first base, second base, and third base. You can see things written on them, but we can't go there because of the backstop here. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out how to move this out of the way. We've got our lineup here, or not our lineup, but our statistics here. The lineup is actually out there, but it's a little too hard to see from here. So we're stuck dealing with the concession stands and trying to figure out what's going on here. We can see this guy ordering here, and it says they're out of all drinks except water and coffee. Okay, so this is kind of our concession stand prices. So what do we do with this information, and what do we do with this code over here? This code is going to ask us for a dollar amount, these prices on the food here, but we don't really know what to do. So we'll look at what this guy's ordering. He's ordering hot dogs, popcorn, coffee, and water. Okay. Now the actual number of the food items is important because that's how much it's going to cost. But if we look over here, we can kind of see a hot dog costs $4. Now he has 2, so that's going to be $8. A bottled water is $3. A coffee is $2.50. He's got 2 of them, so that's going to be $5. And he's got a popcorn, which is $3. So we know the prices here, but we don't quite know the order of the code. So this is hidden over here. You have to kind of walk through this wall, and it gives you the order. So the water, the coffee, the hot dog, and the popcorn. That's my only hidden room in this whole room. So if we go water, water, coffee, hot dog, and popcorn, we know the water was $3, so that's going to be our first digit. The coffee was $2.50. Since we have 2, that'll be $5. So the first 2 digits are going to be 3, 5. The hot dogs were $4. Since we have 2 of them, that'll be 8. And then we have 1 popcorn for $3. So the code will be 3583. 3583. Now, as you can see, this one didn't give us anything, so we have to see what that did. And it opens up the backstop for us. Now we can look at kind of what our code earlier was saying. And remember, we don't start at home. First base was our first one. So we go highest average, most home runs, most stolen bases, and then we finish off with the RBI leader. So this one is probably the hardest or the second hardest compared to the basketball one. We know that our order is going to be the highest average, the most home runs, the most stolen bases, and then finish with the most RBIs. So we come over here and look at who that's going to be. So our highest average is actually in order here, and the code, this is where it gets kind of hard because most people are going to think the code's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. The average is the first player, Jackson Reed. The most home runs is Caleb Hart, the second player. The third number is Mason Lowe. He has the most stolen bases. And then Drew Mitchell has the most RBIs. So those are our 4 players. Those are the numbers. If you remember, the number on the jersey is not as important as the number in the lineup. So we have to figure out what position in the lineup these 4 players are. But we know it's going to go Reed, Hart, Lowe, and Mitchell. So that's where we have to go out here and check the lineup, which is on one of our jumbotrons in the outfield. So we know Reed was first. What position is Reed in the lineup? He is our third batter. So the first digit to our code is going to be 3. Then we go to the most home runs, which was Hart. Hart is our 5th batter. So we start off 3, 5. We move on to stolen bases, which was Lowe. He's the first batter, the fast guy on the team. So 3, 5, 1. And then we move to the most RBIs, which is our 4-hole hitter, Mitchell. So our code is going to be 3, 5, 1, 4 based off of those 4 leaders and what their spot in the lineup is. So 3, 5, 1, 4. What does that do? That opens up this door in the outfield, which we can see we have to have a mechanical part to get through here. So we go back out here, and we see that this one's asking for our sponsor's passcode. So we look at our sponsors, and it shows us between the Deucetown Sporting Goods Store, the auto sales, the orthopedic center, and the car wash, the most money donated. And this one's going to go from the ranking of how much they gave. So that's why I've kind of put the numbers beside it, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So our sporting goods store is going to be our first digit on our thing here, and this is kind of what I include in all my escape rooms, kind of a hidden number puzzle. So we look at this sponsorship ad, we have to find where the hidden number is, and for this one, it's actually going to be in his shoelaces down here, the number 3. Okay, so we start off with a 3 there. Then we have to look at the auto sales. So we go over here to the auto sales, and this one is pretty straightforward. It's just the 2 hidden in the lights up there. Okay, so then we go to the orthopedic center. Now the orthopedic center was actually over here, and you saw it earlier and probably didn't think anything about it. We look here at the stitching of the baseball, and it's got the number 1 stitched into the baseball. Okay, so we've got 3, 2, 1, and then our last digit is going to be the Big League Car Wash. And if you look over here inside of the mascot sponge, there's a 4 etched into it. So our code is going to be 3214. And that is actually the last code that you'll need. It's going to slide back that gate. We'll pick up the mechanical part. We head into here. And we have successfully escaped. So congrats, you've escaped. It's another Deuce escape room. As always, follow me on Fortnite, follow me on YouTube. Drop in the comments any bugs that you found, anything that I could have changed or made better. Go follow the page and play the other games. I think I'm up to about 5 or 6 games now, and I'm going to kind of continue to make more. So thank you guys for playing, and I appreciate it.